Hey ghouls! Today I thought I'd share with you what I did for my 3-year anniversary. I just wanted to share it with you because it was really awesome. We always try and find something new and fun to do that's relatively local, but obviously a lot of the really weird and wonderful stuff, you always have to travel to London, and it drives me insane because I hate having to travel. Obviously, I struggle with my health, so I can't really plan days out very easily. So if we're like, oh yeah, let's just go for a trip around London, I might be having a really terrible day and not manage it. So yeah, we really wanted to do something that was local but fun, and we thought we kind of exhausted everything, but then we found a place that neither one of us knew ever existed. And it was the Museum of Curiosities in Nottingham. And I was like, hell yeah, we're going there. So this video will be me telling you about it. I would show you footage, but you're not allowed to film in there, which is fair enough. So you pay £8 per person as of when I went, which was in January. I know I'm uploading this a bit late, as per usual. I did already record this video and it was one of the ones I hated, and now I'm re-recording it because I have more energy and I'm a bit more, you know, alive. So yeah, we went in January. At that time the price was £8 per person. It's totally worth it. It was awesome. You go in, there's like a little gift shop as soon as you walk in. Obviously it's not going to be for everybody if you're not able to do stairs, because it is basically like I don't know if anyone's been to Nottingham, but a lot of the shops are basically like old houses. So this place is like quite a few stories, but it is laid out like a house almost, an old house. So the stairs are quite steep and it goes up and it goes down. So pre-warning, but I managed it. So, well, I'll get to that. So you walk in and it's a gift shop. So obviously I was like, I wanted to have a look. I did have a sneak peek, but I try and save gift shops for the end because I am such a sucker for a gift shop. I cannot say no. I have to buy little shit, little useless shit with the name on or something. You know what I mean? And especially when it's like a family-run business or a small business, and I get the feeling that this is very much a family-run business. It's just a little museum that they've made, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to be spending money in here on my way out, and I did. But yeah, you pay your £8, you have to sign a waiver. I think mostly because some of the floors are uneven, and especially in a part that I think they called the crypt, I'm not sure, but it was basically like the basement area. But obviously, you know, it's full of haunted things, it's, you know, so you sign a waiver when you go in. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Tootled on in, and there is taxidermy, so I was a bit sad about that. But to be fair, I wasn't overly upset about the taxidermy. It wasn't that bad. It was done in a really cute way, and that's coming from me. I really don't like taxidermy because it's like 9 times out of 10 they've killed that poor animal and been like, yeah, look at this thing that I found, and I don't like that. I don't mind it if they just find dead animals and do it, but let's face it, that hardly ever is the case with taxidermy, is it? But anyway, there was quite a bit in there. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I walked in the main door. You kind of go in and there's some, I'm trying to remember because like I say, this was in January, I'm filming this in February again. So, and I'll be showing you the pictures that I took. Like I said, you're not allowed to film in there, which is totally fine, but I did take pictures, so I'll try and insert them through the video. Hopefully I don't miss anything. But yeah, you walk through and I think there was like some like masks and some taxidermy the minute you walk kind of in, and then you kind of go up these steps into like the actual museum, I guess. I walked up and before I could even look at anything, it hit me like a ton of bricks. You know, obviously I have grown up in spooky houses, haunted houses, whatever. I'm quite sensitive to that crap. We know that. I've done videos about weird shit that happens to me in the paranormal sense. But oh my god, this place, when I first walked in, it hit me like a wave, and I've not felt that much ever in my life. It made me feel physically sick like that. I was like, okay. So I didn't even get to look at anything. I was just overwhelmed. It felt like, it's really hard to explain how it feels, because obviously I don't know if it's different for every person that's sensitive to the paranormal. I don't know. But for me, I will try my best to explain it to you. I'm not very good at explaining my feelings, believe it or not. Especially not in this sense, because it's so hard to describe, but I will try my best. So I walked through the door. It felt like the room was just kind of waving. It felt like 30 people just walked in behind me and up to me, and I can't, it's going to be so hard to explain this, because you don't hear voices, but you feel them. So how do I explain this? So it's like you walk into a busy place and there's a lot of people. You can hear them all talking at the same time, but you cannot hear what they're saying. It's just like white noise. That's how I would describe it. That's a perfect way to describe it. It's like white noise. Yeah, that was a lot easier than I thought. So yeah, that's what I could hear. So I was like, okay. And it was so overwhelming. Like I said, it made me feel physically sick. I am pretty sure that it wasn't anything nefarious that was making me feel sick. I think it was just I was just overwhelmed. I'm pretty sure. I didn't get any I shouldn't be. No, I did, but not yet. Anyway, so yeah, I realised that this room was just like, to my left when you walk in, there's like an archway, and then there's just a grave, a dug up grave with what I believe was a real skeleton in it. Pretty sure. Don't know if that was the skeleton from that grave, but whatever, it was there. And then there's just a wall in front of you of human skulls. So I was like, oh, that explains it. So yeah, I kind of had a look. I did take a photo, but I didn't spend a lot of time in there, I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, am I gonna feel like this all the way around? I didn't, thank God. So I kind of didn't spend too much time in that room because I just felt overwhelmed, so I just kind of moved into the next bit. You kind of go up a step and whoop, you're in a different room. And I felt a lot better in that room. Still felt a bit weird, but obviously fine. So I was like, oh, thank God. And I started looking, and I'm pretty sure that room had like little taxidermy rats and mice in like a cabinet, like all the way along the wall, but they were like little characters. They were like just as characters. Like, I think there was a Ghostbusters one that I thought was absolutely adorable. So I was like, I'm taking a photo of that. And yeah, so sorry if you don't like taxidermy, but neither do I, but it was kind of cute. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that on the left-hand side of the room, I'm pretty sure it was the left-hand side, there was a set of stairs going down. And I was like, oh, is this the crypt that they were talking about? And I walked up to it, and I just, again, it felt like someone just shoved their head right here and went, no, don't go down there. And it overwhelmed me, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm not gonna go. So I took a step back, and I said to Buddy, my partner, I was like, I can't go down there. And I think he thought I meant because it's steep stairs, but I didn't even look at the stairs. I just felt what I felt, and I heard what I heard. I was like, no thank you. So I took some steps back. Anyway, he was like, oh, well, I'll go down there. I'll see, if it's that bad. And he went downstairs and he was like, oh, this is a bit weird. And then he got to the bottom and he was still trying to talk to me, but all of a sudden I just couldn't hear him. Because it's basically like a cave system underneath all the places in old towns like Nottingham. There's just endless cave systems, so they are underground. You cannot hear jack shit down there. So I could kind of hear him talking, but then he just stopped and it was a muffle, and I was like, okay. So I was just like waiting for him to come back up, and there was like a horse-drawn hearse with like a coffin in it. So I was busy looking at that, and I was like, oh, there's someone's ashes just there. Someone's donated themselves to the museum. That's kind of cool. And then he came back up. Not even a minute had gone by, and he was like, don't go down there. And I was like, oh, why? Is it like really like scary down there? Like what? And he was like, well, I don't know. But he was like, I couldn't breathe. And it was very uncomfortable. And I was like, oh. It was like, it could just be because it's underground and it's thicker air, but it just didn't feel good. And I was like, yeah, it's bad juju. I felt it before I even looked down there. I did glance down the steps when he went down, but everything in my body was just like, don't do that. So I didn't. Whoever it was didn't want me to go down there, so I was like, okay, I won't. So I didn't. I don't know what's down there. Feel free to go and find out for yourself, but I have no idea what's down there. I don't think he took any pictures, so I don't know what's down there. Anyway, I just took some pictures of the hearse and I was like, this is cool. And then I'm pretty sure that's when a young guy, I feel really bad because I don't think he actually told us his name. Or if he did, I'm terrible with names. But anyway, this young man, and he was quite young, and I can say that because I'm like, I'm almost 40, that's terrible. Anyway, this young man was like very informative, did talk to us throughout our little visit to the museum. He just appeared out of nowhere sometimes. Because it is a warren, you just kind of keep going and going and going. So obviously he just went up a different way, I don't know, but he did just keep appearing, which was kind of funny to me. And yeah, he just kind of appeared and was like, have either of you ever held a human skull? And I was like, wait. I was like, no, just my own, I guess. So he was like, would you like to? Because we offer that as a photo op and you can have it put on a fridge magnet. And I was like, that's unusual and kind of cool. So I was like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, go on then. So we did it. I think it was only like another £6 or £8. I can't remember their prices, but it was still really reasonable. Like, these guys are making the fridge magnet in the store, like, straight away, which I thought was awesome. I was like, what a good idea you guys have got here. That's such a great idea. And then I felt differently about it afterwards, but I'll explain that. It's not on them. They're amazing, honestly, like, great idea. But anyway, we decided, yeah, okay, we'll do it. We had to go back into the room. That made me feel so sick, and I was like, of course we do. It's the room full of skulls. And I didn't notice, but on the right was a little cabinet with 2 skulls in it. One was like pretty much destroyed from this part. It was just, you know, this, like, the sockets up. And the other one was pretty intact. It was like the top, no jaw. Anyway, he was like, oh, these are 2 females that we have, blah, blah, blah. He was like, which one would you like to hold for your photo, or would you like to hold both? And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess, because the one that's mostly intact was, like, mystery woman. They didn't know anything about her, like, literally nothing. They didn't know her name or anything. They did about the other one. Again, bad with names. I'm pretty sure he did tell us her name, and I feel really bad, but I forgot. So I chose Mystery Woman because I felt bad for her, because I was like, oh, no one knows who she is. Like, that's sad. You know, she doesn't have a little write-up about who she was and what she did. So I was like, yeah, let's choose her. Plus she was the most intact, I guess. So yeah, he handed her to me. And I was just like, oh. And I felt different. And not for reasons that you might expect. So he did say, like, people feel things when they hold her. And I did get, you know, it felt like she was vibrating in my hands. It was such a weird feeling. It was just so much energy. And I was like, whoop. And Bud said when he, like, held her as well, because we both held her for this picture, that it kind of felt like it did the same to him, but in his feet. So I don't know if she just passed through me and out of him, I don't know. But anyway, that was, like, you know, this spooky paranormal side of it. The other side of it was that I was holding this person's head, well, skull, in my hands. And I just thought about the moral implications of this. Because I was like, this poor person, whoever she was in life, we have no idea. There is a possibility that she would not really appreciate having her skull used as a prop and turned into a fridge magnet. and people picking her up constantly. I mean, there's a massive chance that she's like, oh no, I quite like it, I mean, I'd be like, it's fun, why not? I get to visit this museum because my head's there and see all these wonderful people and get picked up and like recognition and everything. Well, to a degree, because I mean, we don't know who she is. But anyway, there was just this big side of it that was like, but what if she really was like, can you just leave me alone? And it just made me spiral, because I was like, I felt nothing but sadness when I held this woman's skull. It just washed over me, this feeling of sadness, and my excitement kind of drained, and I was like, oh. I don't know if she was sad for other reasons, but that was the reason that popped into my head, and then it made me wonder about that kind of thing, and I was like, if you donate your body, that's a different thing, because you're like, hell yeah, put me on display. But if you don't, and people just, like the mummies as well in Egypt, I love looking at those, but I still feel that same feeling of like, they didn't ask for this isn't where they should be, do you know what I mean? So I was kind of battling with that in my head while like, smiling from my little fridge magnet. And yeah, I was like, I don't know how I feel about her being there, because obviously the other lady, I'm pretty sure they said was a donation. I don't know, I didn't ask that many questions, and I don't remember things, and I'm terrible. So go, ask these questions, please, get answers. But like, I'm pretty sure that most of most of the skeletons in there are they donated themselves to science or to the museum. You know what I mean? So, but with this mystery lady, they don't know anything about her. So it's like, she might not have consented to this. Do you know what I mean? So then, yeah, that was what I was thinking. That's what I was worrying about. I was very respectful with her. I said, like, please, can I hold you? And then I think the guy thought I was crazy, because I said, thank you for letting me hold you. And I put her back. But that's what I'm like. And to be fair, with all of the like weird haunted stuff that was in there, and the dolls and everything else that people had written notes to because they'd been, they'd taken photos or they'd done whatever, I did not take any pictures in the doll room, purely because some of them said like, they don't like that. They like to get, it's like, oh, you have to ask permission. And I'm always funny about that, because it's like, well, you don't know for sure. So I didn't take any photos. And I was quite respectful, but nothing decided to come home with me. So that's good. But, because at the end of the day, like I say, spirits are just people, just in a new form. So I was just like, I said please and thank you. I put her back. And yeah, I got my little fridge magnet, which I will show you now. I'll just hold it up. It's not excellent quality because it is in the dark, but like, I just thought it was cool. So this is us. Yeah, you're really not going to be able to see it very well, holding our little human skull. And yeah, my little mystery woman, you can see the other skulls behind us, but yeah. It just made me think about things a bit too much, and I was like, but what if she didn't consent to it? And I don't know, it just made me a little bit sad at the same time, and I just was fixated on that. I don't know why. But anyway, the rest of the museum. I didn't take an awful lot of pictures, to be fair. I was just trying to take it all in. But yeah, you keep going up the stairs and there's like different rooms. There was a room full of like, there was a Chucky animatronic, and there was a pretty good Reagan from The Exorcist as well. I didn't get a very good picture of her though. I think it's because the guy came back and was telling us some information. So I just kind of took quick snapshots, but not from very good angles. But they do have a really good Reagan. She does look quite realistic and quite good. That room was a bit odd, because when I walked in, it had a weird smell. It smelled like old, bad mud. Like dirt. You know what I mean? And it was quite overwhelming, and I was looking around like, why does it smell like that? Like, really? I think we were at the top of the building at that point. I think that room is at the top. I'm not 100% sure, because I did kind of just lose track. I was just wandering around having fun. But I'm pretty sure it's at the top. Anyway, it did disappear after a while. It felt a bit uneasy. I did feel watched a lot there, but I didn't feel anything negative, I have to say. Even in the doll room, and even in, places where they said they had like evil things inside them. I didn't feel it. And I was like, when I was in the doll room, I was like, oh, you're all so cute and adorable, like I always do. And I just wandered around and I just had a look at them all and I was like, hello. But that was it. You know? There was like a small bit with a clown, and again, I'm terrible with names, but there was like a story about her, and a lot of the dolls in one of the rooms, they call her dolls. She's adorable. I can't remember if I got a photo of her though, to be fair, because a lot of the times the little things, it was like, oh, they don't always like having their photo taken, so I was like, I won't do that. But also, like I said, I was just running around having fun. But yeah, it was a great experience. And then on the way out, I went to the gift shop. I bought things. I don't have the things because the things that I bought were just little pin badges that I've already put on things. I think I got a cute little TV thing. It was like bright pink and purple and some other, it just reminded me of the old school MTV looking things that's got little ghosts in it. And then there's another one that says like, I think it said paranormal investigator, but it has the cutest little like ghost on it. So I was like, I'm buying that. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's really cool. If you're in Nottingham, quite easy to find as well. It is a little bit out of the way, but not like monstrously. I think that's why we didn't know it existed. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. Yeah. Let me know if you guys know of any other places like that, because I'm always on the lookout for stuff like that, and especially if it's not in London, because it's just a lot. It's just a lot to get there and get back, and it's... So yeah, anything local, please let me know. And yeah, that's it for this video. I had a great 3-year anniversary. It was great. It was amazing. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.